Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Life as a Chad podcast. I thank you all for being here. I just started this channel, and you know what? It's going pretty good so far. And it's been about a week since I have made any content. You know, I got actual things that I have to do, unless, this turns into a full-time profession, but I don't really see that happening anytime soon. On a side note, I will say there is one type of video that I really do want to make. I don't know how I would do it. It would be relatively easy. I would just need a camera and some time. But I would basically, if you're not aware, and this is not what the video is going to be about, the video is about Gettr. I had not really even heard of that that lame that lame site before Nick started, my boy Nick Fuentes started talking about it. But if you're not aware, most of you probably are, unless you just are blissfully ignorant. But I live in California, one of the most liberal states in the union, and the homelessness problem in this state is so tragic. And I remember I heard some dude talking about the fall of great civilizations have three things. The thing in common that all great civilizations during their fall have is a bad economy, distrust in the government, and mass homelessness in your empire or whatever. And we have all three. And the homelessness problem is so bad. And, it would be so easy for me to show it. So I think I might do a video, whether it's interviewing some of these homeless people to see what the deal is in their situation, or whatever, but just to show how bad it really is. And like I said, I wouldn't have to go far. I mean, it's so readily available. Anyways, Gettr. Okay, by the way, if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button, because, well, subscribing makes you feel good. If you like South Park, you'll understand that reference. At the very least, like, comment, share. We already have a few subs, which is pretty sick. One of the videos is done really well. My critique of Sydney Watson, the thought who thinks she's a conservative, who plays the role of a conservative trad, when in reality she is just a classic thought. Anyways, Gettr. Okay, Gettr. I gotta say, guys, Nick Fuentes really is on. There's a handful of people in the conservative movement who are on the cusp of everything. They see it while it's happening, and they call it out because they're honest, they're authentic, they're genuine. Insert any words you want there. And I would absolutely put Nick Fuentes into that category. I would also put Alex Jones. In other words, these people are actually about it. You have a lot of people who say they're about it, but in reality, really all they do is just get in front of a microphone like I'm doing right now and just bitch and moan and complain. And, in some ways add to the problem, because they just, what would be the word? They just, add more and more content and just make it more diluted. And, it's hard to really understand the message. So Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, let me see. Milo, I would say Milo Yiannopoulos is about it. I would say Gavin McInnes is in there as well. So those would be the main people, in my opinion, since day one homies, let's go, that have been about it. So the point is that, Nick called out Gettr, this quote unquote free speech site. Most of you are aware of what is going on in that story. And it's fucking hilarious because, once you're an adult, you realize very quickly how much hypocrisy exists in the world. You have all these people who say that they're about this, that they believe in this, that, in reality, the reality is much different. Okay. In reality, they are not. Me personally, I run a sports Facebook website that has about 1,000 members in it. And from day one, I have advocated for it to be a free speech group. Okay. Meaning anybody can say anything they want within reason. I mean, listen, it's a sports group. So, I don't want anybody talking about, a different sports team that is not related to the sports team that we are talking about. But in general, like, I wouldn't kick them out of the group because they talk about a different sports team. I would just say to them, hey, what the fuck are you doing? This is not what the group is about. But since I started that group, there's been many people who message me tattletaling on somebody disagreeing with them, and it never fails. It never fails. The person always says that the other person was talking shit to them. They were inappropriate. They were being, rude and whatever words, racist, misogynist, whatever words you want to insert there. And then I go back and I look at it, and all they did was disagreed. They just disagreed. That's it. And the point is that people say that they are about free speech until somebody disagrees with them. As soon as someone disagrees with them, they are no longer about free speech. So anyways, Gettr claims to be a free speech site, an alternative to Twitter, who has banned many conservative counterculture figures. To be honest, I don't even think I would advocate myself on Twitter, because I know if I got big enough, I would be, booted in a second. So let's listen a little bit here to what Nick Fuentes has to say. Very intelligent individual, very on the fringes, and in a good way. He is pretty much on everything. I mean, he's been spot on about everything. Let's listen a little bit.
Schaefer's been investigating this. He's trying to get answers from them. And then today, another person was banned, John Miller. And that's our featured story tonight. John Miller, a former BALLZ host who is black, he was banned from Gettr today because he put the word nigga in his bio on his profile.
Oh, shoot.
And what's maybe even more amazing than that, that's a free speech platform.
Just real quick, I got to turn this down so you guys don't get your ears blasted. As Nick said, the dude is black. He dropped the N-word, which, I don't think I would say it publicly myself, but I don't have I was the only white dude on an all-black basketball team, okay? So I know how the black culture really views that word, and they view it as white people call each other bro or dude. That's the truth of it. But in this situation, you have a black man dropping the N-bomb, but because he also somewhat supports a guy like Nick Fuentes, that will not fly. And they got to get rid of him. They have to expose him.
But don't say that word. And even though he's black, But maybe what's even funnier than that is then John Miller is arguing on Twitter with a moderator from Gettr about the ban. So tell me what's wrong with this picture.
The title for this video is hilarious, man. That's great. Let's go.
Twitter is allegedly a social media platform that is so toxic with censorship that Bannon and Jason Miller had to create their own social media platform called Gettr. John Miller, a conservative who is on Twitter, makes an account on Gettr. He's banned on the free speech alternative, and now he returns to Twitter where he argues with officials from Gettr about his ban on Gettr. Tell me.
I want to make a point here, and I think this is actually, I wouldn't say it's a really good point, but to me, it's fairly obvious. And I've known this since I was a kid. I have been conservative my whole life. Okay, there's a lot of people who become conservatives later in life, and they really haven't thought that way their whole life. And I've known since day one that there's no conversation to be had with these people. These types of people, not Nick, the people who are running Gettr, liberals, there's no conversation to be had. Liberals are not curious or concerned with what you have to say. They could care less. They don't give a shit. So in the end, what you do is you end up using some of your valuable energy and time trying to converse with them for the sake of conversing, and ultimately it does nothing, when you could just be using that time to propel your view, your worldview, and actually have it inserted into society, in some of the institutions or whatever, have it actually be some real world thing that we see in society. I mean, think about how many actual, traditional conservative entities exist in America these days. None, because at the end of the day, we are sitting here having conversations for the sake of conversing with these goofballs, these dorks, just for the sake of it.
Tell me what's wrong with that picture. That may even be funnier than the fact he was banned in the first place. So this is the article. This is from the Daily Mail about the banning. It says, quote, a prominent black conservative.
That's about it. I'm not going to play too much more from my boy Nick here. My dude, Nick, Gettr is lame. It shouldn't surprise people. It shouldn't shock people. I saw Elijah Schaefer. He seemed kind of surprised by it. It's not shocking. I don't like, these people don't care about what you think. They are, and you know what? I kind of have respect for them in a way, because they believe in what they think so much that they could give a shit what you have to say. And I wish conservatives were more like that. It's the same reason, conservative judges get into the Supreme Court and end up going or voting more liberal, because they want liberals to like them. Whereas whereas liberals get in, they don't become conservative. If anything, they become more liberal. So the point is simple. Gettr is lame. You shouldn't be on it. It's terrible. I don't even know if it was good at all and at any moment in time. But the other thing is, if you're conservative or if you're not, but you're definitely not liberal, modern day liberal, then you need to be more aware of things like this. It is a money grab. It's 100% a money grab. I fell victim to this when I was, in the early days, because you want to believe in something, you want to support, and you want to be involved in the fight. You want to be involved, right? But in the end, do they ever do anything with the support you give them? Do we see any changes being made? No, no, and no. You don't. So you're better off going to, demonstrations or protests, or, applying what you believe yourself and not giving away money and support, because conservatives, just like, the conservative media, the conservative ink, as Nick calls it, and I couldn't agree more, love to get you riled up. They love to make money off of your desperation, your sadness, your beliefs. And that's just not chill, dude. It is not chill. So Gettr is lame, and I'm glad Nick called this out. This dude is so wildly banned. It's ridiculous. And to me, Gettr is just the perfect epitomization of people like Ben Shapiro, these people who, say free speech, bro. Meanwhile, they won't have a civil conversation with someone like Nick. And they use left-wing tactics such as, name calling and shame and guilt by association tactics, so that you don't watch a guy like him, or so Ben can use as an excuse to not argue against somebody like this. So anyways, Gettr is lame. I just want to make a quick video on that. And like I said, if it is you, you're better off finding a way to just implement some of the things you believe yourself in your everyday life, living out your best life, and in the way that you believe the world should be, and things of that nature. Be sure you hit that subscribe button, because subscribing makes you feel good. And at the very least, like, comment, share. I really do hope you enjoyed this. Comment in the comment section, and we'll see how big we can get this and see how far we can go. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. In fact, so feelings, because your feelings don't matter. See y'all. Bye.